This is All About Wine, the talk show dedicated to the wine industry since 2009, featuring winemaker, cellar master, vineyardist, and tasting expert Ron.
Basically, what we're trying to do on this program is just trying to educate people and trying to make wine less confusing and more friendly.
From coast to coast and around the world.
You know, we really have had some neat people on the program. I love that.
Post your questions and comments during the live show on our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/allaboutwinebtr. Again, that's www.facebook.com/allaboutwinebtr. And now, All About Wine is on. Here's Ron.
And you're on. Okay.
Wow.
You should have unmuted. I guess I don't understand how that worked, but because I'm playing it on through Restream, and it wasn't going out over the phone line to get to you or the people on Blog Talk Radio. So that moment of silence was brought to you by your favorite wine.
I reached. Yeah. Well, welcome to All About Wine.
Everybody on social media heard it, but except Blog Talk Radio. I'm at the work on that. I forgot which app, what that is. P1.
Well, for a month and a half, yeah. Few announcements for all of you listeners. I guess we're we live now?
Yes. Yeah, we're live on.
Okay.
I think. We should
Blog Talk Radio on Facebook and
YouTube. Let me make sure that
YouTube still. Okay.
Yeah. You're on.
Okay, good. Oh, my. A couple of announcements. Start out with some sad news, as I have announced over and over again over the last couple of years. Flightline Radio. But Flightline Radio is now in hiatus.
Yes.
For how long? We don't know.
It is silent.
But yes, it is not playing anymore. For those of you who were fans of Flightline Radio or a rebroadcast of All About Wine or First and 15th by Phil and Cap, those aren't available. Excuse me. So, Mike has decided that, besides the fact that he wasn't enjoying it as much anymore, which we can all understand. You get to the point where, you just don't have listeners you want, and you're just not enjoying doing it, and you say, okay, I'm going to stop this for a while and regroup my head and come back and take a chance at it later. So that's what he's doing.
Thank you.
So we missed Flightline Radio. He closed out when? End of November, was it?
It was November 30th, end of November.
Okay, end of November. And so it's been down for about 5 days now. And we're going to miss Flightline Radio, but we will be looking forward to the day that he decides to jump back into it again. So sad note on that.
Thank you. That is sad.
Yeah, we really, I enjoyed it. There was, a lot of times I would just stream it while I was doing stuff on the computer that did not require listening to something. So, which was rather confusing to try to hear something while it was streaming. So I couldn't do that. And another thing, a couple of weeks ago, we actually went through Mike, but we got an email from Blog Talk Radio, which is our platform, our carrier for the show, has been for 14 years now?
Since 2009.
Is that right?
15, almost.
50.
I think so.
15 years.
Yep.
Yeah. And so for a little over 15 years, we've been having Blog Talk Radio. We've had glitches, obviously. Sometimes they just drop the show completely and stuff like that, but they're pretty big. Blog Talk Radio is a big operation. And we got an email saying that they were shutting down operations themselves the end of January. I don't think there was any particular reason that they gave, was there? They were just going to close it. And so we have been scrambling ever since we got the email. Actually, not we, Mike. He's, as you all know, the tech man of the show. And he has been scrambling ever since then, trying to find us a new platform. And so he's looked at quite a few, and maybe we have one. We are doing some tests on it and all that, even tonight. Restream is the name of the platform, and we'll see if we can get connected on all the places that we were and see if we can get downloads in all the places we have been. I don't know if these other places, well, that's a good point too. I never thought of this, Mike, till now, but on Blog Talk Radio, different, what are they called? Different streaming places, different places come in,
right, and
they pick up All About Wine and they play it on their own.
Right.
Will they be able to pick it up out of Restream, or will they know about it, or will they?
They usually
how does that work?
Yeah, most of those type of resources will use what they call spiders or bots that automatically ping for RSS feeds, because all the shows go out on RSS feeds. It's basically a link to the actual show. So they'll send their spiders are active constantly. Google has them. Just about every web search engine and all that has them active, and they're constantly feeding for new stuff to add. So if you have if you're known on one platform like Blog Talk Radio, and the show was on Blog Talk Radio, then they're going to constantly ping that RSS feed and get the latest episode. They should be able to do the same thing on Restream, because there's tons of podcasts and people streaming on Restream.io. So I'm guessing that's that'll make it eventually, but I don't know what the connectivity is. The other option that we have, we're also going out over Mixcloud after the show is done. Mixcloud picks it up, and they add it to our show page there, which also has the RSS feed, and spiders and bots can pick it up from there as well. So I don't know if that's going to be affected. It may switch the link from Blog Talk Radio to a different provider, but it's definitely something to look into and make sure that we're still being out there, because I know we're on iTunes, we're on. Was Spotify one of them? Was it automatically picked?
Spotify was one. Apple, I think, picked this up also.
Yeah. There's so many different outlets out there. It's to them it's automatic.
Some we don't even.
Yeah, there's some we don't even know. Yeah. Number one in Brazil.
Yeah, that's right.
How did that happen?
Exactly.
I'm still wondering how that happened. But as long as they're connected to it, they'll pick up shows and they'll link to it. But most of those are just like directory services. They don't actually host the show. I think Apple does, iTunes does, but a lot of them just link to the show direct and say, "Oh, here's another show that came up." And I know Mixcloud hosts the shows as well. So, but they should be able to pick it off of one of those services. So. Wherever we're at. So yeah, it's just there's so many of them out there to actually keep track of. It's not going to be. It's not a fun thing to track them all down, especially when you're international and you have no idea who you're actually on. So, but
see what I mean about Mike being the tech man. See, that he just showed you why he's the tech man there.
And that was the short version. If we had 2 hours, I could probably go into more details. Give me 2 hours and you'll be just as knowledgeable.
Really inform you.
The Wikipedia of
yeah, everything. but
Yeah.
the condensed version.
Yeah, that was condensed.
But
Yeah.
so we could be picked up by these other platforms through that. Then, so it's not going to be like, boom, we've stopped being out there. It'll still be out there. Because like you said during that, we are carried by so many different ones. I mean, after 14 years, 15 years, it's gotten out there quite a bit.
What gets me is we've been on Blog Talk Radio so long that we've had over 312,000 listeners on here accumulated. Now starting over, that number is dropping back to zero, basically. So you start new with a platform. Every time you start new someplace else, they don't know those stats. And that's gonna be something that kind of, oh, look, we have 10. This week we have 20. Woohoo! It'll be just like when we first started. What was it when we first started? And it was like, oh, we had 10 people listening. It was like, wow.
Yeah. we were so excited when we hit 100.
Yes. Oh gosh, that was good.
We're going to have to be sure to write down the final number on Blog Talk Radio before they leave.
Oh yeah. We'll have to keep track of that. And but we're starting at the ground floor again, like new people all over again. So on a new platform.
Wow. I never thought of that too. But the studio that we have gives us a whole bunch of information through Blog Talk Radio, and I don't know. Does Restream give us that stuff?
They do have stats. Yeah, there's analytics and things like that. Yeah, I think so. I saw it on one of the. I'm not going to interrupt the screen right now because I don't know what happens. But I've definitely seen. It's new to me too. So this is just the.
Starting to look on that.
Yeah.
But if you listen to us on Blog Talk Radio or Facebook or YouTube or any of those stuff, we're still going to be on Facebook and YouTube. We just won't be on Blog Talk Radio, but we are on Restream. Right. Now, what they do, just Restream.com, and they can...
Restream.io, and I'll need to figure out what our direct link is, because I know we have a show page, but I don't know what that link is. I'll have to figure that one out. Hopefully it's customized like we had, blogtalkradio.com/allaboutwine, I think it was. Hopefully we have or can do the same thing with Restream. But I was using it, to play the video onto social media. And then last week or week before last, we discovered they have a studio built in. That was a surprise. And here I am. I've been using this for probably 2 years now to get the show over to social media, and all of a sudden we're like, wow, they've got a full featured.
Wow.
And I'm using it now, and so that was a surprise. Didn't know that existed. So we'll discover more about it and get it on. So far so good. It's been.
So far, so good. Yeah. Well, we got until the end of January. Blog Talk Radio is shutting down the end of January, and which is really sad because there are a lot of cool programs on Blog Talk Radio.
Yes,
there are a lot of them. I go through it every once in a while, and when I'm playing around, and I'll find different interviews. I'll find different shows and all that they're listed on, and there really is a million. Great shows on Blog Talk Radio, and to close down, it's just I don't know. I'm still shaking my head to close down because there's so many people on that show,
and it's really that platform. It's really the only platform that has a true dial-in phone number for guests or for listeners or whoever. That number is area code, and just like a regular phone number for us in the U.S. And I know we're worldwide, and most podcasts are, but just to have that convenience where people can call in from their phones or whatever is just a. But I was going to say that was the big deal about it. But there's no other interface if somebody doesn't want to call with their phone. You have to call that phone number, and a lot of times people may not want to do that. So Restream doesn't have a phone number, but you can send a link, and I think that's how you connected last week when we did the test thing. I think you
Yes.
you
Yes, it
clicked
was.
on the link, and it said, "Can I share your microphone and your camera?" Well, yes on the microphone, no on the camera, and you were able to get on
Right.
and be a part of the show. So there's that benefit. It's it's just another way to connect. But not having the phone system, that was a big plus, because you could just say, yeah, call us at this phone number, when the show starts, and we'll put you on the air. And it was convenient, but,
And easy, and we did it a lot.
yeah, I did that quite a
Oh,
few.
by the way, I'm gonna point out too that even though there is a camera on Restream, we will not be using it.
No.
No, not going to happen. No.
Mine showing a slide, just like what you're seeing on social media right now. You're seeing tanks of the silver. What are the steel tank? Steel. What are those? Are those?
Still, it's usually white wine.
It's steel. Okay, so they're making. My son, I forgot what the brand of wine was, but on Thanksgiving he came over here and he brought a bottle of wine, and it was a Chardonnay? I think so.
No.
Yeah, he brought over a Chardonnay, and which I've never tried before, and I forgot the brand name, but still have some of it there somewhere. But it was very good. It wasn't I don't know, potent, but it was good. It was nice, and yeah, I could drink that all day long. But it surprised me, because I was like, I didn't know you were into wine, So that was pretty cool. I was like, my son brought me the first bottle of wine ever. That's pretty awesome. Thank you very much.
See, all about wine has influence.
Yes, and I showed him, and I said, because it was a screw cap, which okay. Excuse me, but
a
it
lot
was
of
a screw.
wines are now.
It was a screw cap, and poured it in a traditional glass. Actually, they were Florida State's winery glasses. What?
Ah.
And he looked at this and goes, "Wow, where'd you get these from?" I go, "Come on." And so we poured a glass, and I said, now swirl it in your glass. Let it breathe a little bit, and I said, look at the edge of the glass. Do you see the little, how it comes back down into those are the legs? And he's like, what? He's just like disbelief, all this kind of stuff. And I said, now put your nose up to the glass and take a sniff. And it's like, what's that supposed to do? And I said, well, so went to the whole thing. I was like, now the history of wine. It's just, I was like, what am I doing? But in all fairness, it was Thursday. So we will say
that's right, Thanksgiving.
It was all about wine Thursday. So
there you go.
So in some ways we did have a show, but yeah, it was pretty fun.
Yeah.
And then we enjoyed some good wine. So I just don't remember the brand.
Well, good.
The maker. Yeah. So there you go. Are you drinking anything tonight? Because you always have something to drink.
No, I'm not. As a matter of fact, I was always scared that we weren't going to connect.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. So no, I was going through the list too. We have a lot of guests that we have lost. Well, I don't want to say lost. A lot of guests that we could not connect on because Blog Talk Radio didn't connect for some reason. I mean, and that might be the issue why they're looking at closing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I was going through a list, and I'm going to have to get a hold of quite a few people over the next week or two here and start getting them scheduled out into the new year. And, well, actually, beyond the end of January, we'll definitely have to do them then. I won't be able to tell them to call in a number or anything. We'll have to set up the new protocol for how they're going to connect this and how I'm going to write to them. But we got quite a few. In fact, we've got one coming up the end of January, 1st of February. They are in France, and they're releasing their wine in America the first week in February. So they're going to be on the show, which is pretty cool that they chose us to talk about the release of it in America. So that's something that's coming up. Plus, we've got different ones. What is the Rescue Dog Winery? We've been trying to get a hold of them. Naked Wines is going to be on. We've had to reschedule them. We've had to reschedule people from Fog Crest. I mean, it's just unbelievable the number of reschedules that I've had. And I sat down and went through the emails and looked at them over the last couple of days, and it was just unbelievable that we've had so many. I didn't realize it's gotten out of hand on my end of it. I'm going to have to get caught up with this. Busy season for me.
We were expecting, to be on the air, and then to have our only source of being on the air, crash on us. It's trying to keep up with that kind of stuff. It's like, they plan their day or their evening, and whatever the case may be, and then we can't have a show, and it's beyond our control, and that's the hard part. It's beyond our control. We can't do anything about it if we don't have our host is.
Can't say we'll go over to this and we'll talk to you. It's it's not possible.
Yeah.
And
Natalie McLean.
When we start counting on Blog Talk Radio.
Yeah. Natalie McLean was another one. Rosalind, I think she's been trying forever to get on.
Rosalind, yeah. Rosalind was the first one. She is, what winery is Rosalind from? Fog Crest. Rosalind was the first one. Blog Talk Radio gave us that. We are having technical difficulties. Please try later. And we connected. Mike and I couldn't talk to each other. We're starting to say, "What's going on? What's going on?" in our IMs back and forth, and it came time for a guest to come on, and it was Rawson, the very first one. And I contacted him and said, really sorry, and explained to him what happened. Can we reschedule you on such and such a date? And they go, sure, no problem. So we rescheduled him. Well, guess what? That night, the same thing happened again. And I called and I said, I'm really sorry. And they said, we were the first one. And I go, oh no. So it was, and nothing else to do. I need to reschedule her, get her back on too. And she's everybody's been very, very accommodating though. I mean, they've understood, when you have problems like that, and nobody's, ever said, well, don't call me anymore, I'm busy, or anything like that. So this is good, but we got quite a few coming up. So hang with us and stay with us on future announcements of how to listen to us and all that. Well, as it stands right now, it looks like we're going to be going restream.io. So that is, as of this time, that is what we're looking at. And then,
and if you're on if you're on our Facebook page or YouTube, that's what you're looking at right now is what we're seeing on, and I just checked it because I was like, okay, do I have the audio set up correctly here? And I tuned in on Facebook, and sure enough, there it was.
It's going on.
Yeah, so that's good. And you can chat. So
there we go.
Chat with us as well. So very cool.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, do that. So, that's quite a bit into the first of the show here. We haven't had a chance to talk in some time though, because we've had guests and we've had. Then things have came up since then, and then Thanksgiving in there and all that. So we are caught up, I think, on that stuff. Not completely though. Why is that on there? You know what happened when I connected to Blog Talk Radio? It took over my inbox. So let me open up another link to that. So, excuse me. Okay, there we go. That's what I want. let me go down here to Wine Spectator. And, okay, got a few things to tell you this out of Wine Spectator. Where is it? New York Grand Tasting. Let's see, is that what if it pops up? Okay, New York Wine Experience. It's coming up on soon. Where is it? The celebration, of course, the 3 days. Is this already passed and I missed it? Yeah, it's already passed. I missed it because we've been kicked on and off. Next one's coming up October 16th to the 18th, 2025. So we will discuss that and talk about that again. Big event. Taste the world's finest wines at the New York Wine Experience while contributing to good cause. And all proceeds go to scholarships and grants. So it's a good cause, good thing. But that's coming up October of next year. I can pretty much wipe this one out. I don't need to keep this simply because it's not going to be around anymore for another year. Let's see. The top 100 wines of 2024. I started to talk to you about them. I don't think I ever gave you number one. I may have, but if I have, I'd forgotten. But the number one wine, and I knew I went through most of the list with you already, but the number one wine is Vina Don Melchor. I believe it's Melchor. It's a Cabernet Sauvignon Piemonte Alto Vineyard, 2021 vintage in Chile. It's Chilean terroir. They said it represents the terroir very well from Chile. The parent company of this winery is Concha de Toro, which you are familiar with. You've seen those just about every wine shelf you shop at. But this is separate from them. They are celebrating its 35th vintage, and it's their Wine Spectator gave it a 96 on the score. The number one wine for 2024, in their opinion. What is the cost? I didn't see that up here. Oh, there it is. $175 for a 750 milliliter bottle. 18,300 cases made. But the 175 might be a little bit probably is out of everybody's reach. The final Cabernet Sauvignon base blend includes 4% Cabernet Franc and 3% Merlot, which leaves it 93% Cabernet Sauvignon. So there you go. The special designation, highly recommended. Yeah, I can imagine at that price. I don't think a lot of people are going to be jumping out and buying it. 5,000 cases were imported, best from 2026 through 2040. So good aging potential on it. Issued May the 31st of this year, and it's from the Mayapol region of Chile. Core of raspberry and plum flavors with good balanced acidity and well-rounded tannins and touches of cocoa, which there's no cocoa in it. It's just flavors brought out. So that was the number one wine. I don't know if I ever had a chance to read that to you or not, because again, we were with Gaston being kicked off and all that. Let's see. Where's something else. Recipes and stuff. They had 12 delicious recipes to cook in a cast iron skillet. I might put a couple of this up on the Facebook page. And see what. All right, let's see. Let's go out of here and go back to here. And or is it? Well, the Wine Spectator had their top 10 whiskeys for the year. I know this is all about wine, but it's always fun to talk about the whiskeys. But before that, Grand Tour tickets are on sale now for 2025. You can buy the tickets in advance. 3 cities, 3 spectacular tastings, it says. Chicago at the Sheraton Grand Chicago Riverwalk. That is Saturday, April the 26th. Washington, D.C. at the Ronald Reagan Building on Friday, May the 2nd. And Las Vegas, the Wynn Las Vegas Hotel, Saturday, May the 10th. So there's over 200 wines rated 90-plus points that will be available for tasting, and it's quite an event. As we get closer to it, I'll mention it again. I don't get any money from Wine Spectator to promote this stuff. It's just wine, and that's what I'm promoting, the possibilities of wine. If you get a chance to go, it is worth the money, although the tickets run. Well, let's see if this clicks on this, if it gives prices. 3 cities, buy tickets, Wine Spectator. No, what's that say here? Chicago, learn more. Chicago, Sheraton. Oh, here we go. VIP admission, $395. General admission, $250. So, the VIP, you're spending 145 more, and it gives you 1 hour extra. And I don't see anything else. Description of the VIP: 6 to 9:30. Beautiful souvenir Riedel glass, wine glass. Take home a tasting book with descriptions of the 200 wines. Well, that's a pretty cool thing. And a sample of delicious selection of food. Whereas the general admission, which is $250, is from 7 to 9:30, an hour less. Again, a beautiful souvenir Riedel glass. Take home a tasting book with descriptions of the 200 wines and sample a delicious selection of food. So, same thing, only for $145 more, you get to have an extra hour to taste, which it's still going to be crowded and it's still going to, almost not be worth it, but you can get in a few more tastings before the big crowd gets there. So that's what the prices are going to run you. Over 200 wineries are going to be at these from all over the world. They listed everything here. And you can stay right at the Sheraton Grand Chicago Riverwalk if you would like, or drive there and then drive home. Depends how far away you are. So that's coming up. They stuck that, and I've seen about 5 or 6 different posts about that, and so I'm going to pass that on to you. If you get the Wine Spectator magazine, as both Mike and I do, you will see it over and over again in there, but basically we'll remind you of it too. Whiskey, let's see, where are we? I don't want that. Where's the... Okay, here we go. Whiskey, I've got it on the page here, but it won't bring it up. There we go. Well, no, that's not it yet. Okay, let's click out of that. They give the top well, they don't do that. Oh, this is a pain. Here we go. Top 10. They show the top 20, but they don't tell you what they are. It's through but this is through Whiskey Advocate magazine, and Whiskey Advocate magazine is a subsidiary, if you will, of Wine Enthusiast, and so along with Cigar Aficionado, so our Wine Spectator. So I'm confusing on what they are. Number 10, a Bernheim Original Barrel Proof Batch A224. It's scored 94, 62.6% alcohol, $65. Kentucky blend. The next one, number 9, Wild Turkey 8-year-old Jimmy Russell 7th anniversary. That scored 94, 50.5% alcohol, $50 out of Kentucky. Number 8 is Glenmorangie, 16-year-old. The Nectar, it's called. It's 94 score, 46 alcohol, 46%, $90. And it's from Scotland. It says learn more. What does it say when I click learn more? Oh, it just lists the whole thing and tells you about it, what the barrels were in, and all that other stuff. This number 8, a single malt Scotch. Obviously, it should be. I just said it was from Scotland, so usually it's single malt. Number 7 is a Still Austin 5-year-old bottled in bond red corn bourbon. It's from Texas, and rich spice bourbon from Texas. It sounds interesting in itself. 50% alcohol by volume, $85. And the next one, number 6, is Booker's Springfield Batch 2024-01. Scores 94, 62.25% alcohol, $90. Kentucky bourbon. Booker's Springfield Batch. Average age 7 years and 7 months in Beams Claremont houses. So it's got a good pedigree there, it sounds like. And the next one is Heaven Hill Grain to Glass. It was distilled in 2017. It was released in 2024. 53.5% alcohol. 94. It's a Kentucky bourbon, and they're selling it for $100 a bottle. Ooh. It has to be good for that price. That's Heaven Hill. Number 4, we're getting down there. Number 4 is Barston Bourbon Company Collaborative Series Amrut, A-M-R-U-T. This is 55% alcohol, scored 94. It is a blended American, the style, and the origin is multiple. Let me scroll down and see what they mean by multiple. Blended with 3 Kentucky straight bourbons, aged 10 to 14 years. There you go. So it's American whiskey all the way through. They're saying the aromas of chocolate chip, root beer, leather, black cherry, bubble gum, sugared almonds, red berries, baking spices, ground pepper, and cinnamon segue into fruit tea, red vines, and herbal notes, with a mouth-filling finish of milk chocolate, malt, and oak char. Well, that sounds interesting. I bet 99% of the people, especially as non-constant drinkers, would probably not notice any of those. And that's only $160 a bottle. So I don't think I'm going to be trying it anytime soon, to be honest with you. And the next one here is Langvillen 12-year-old, The Ink of Legends, special releases 2023. This is 56.4 alcohol, 94 score, a single malt Scotch, and it is from Scotland, and it's $170 a bottle. I like single malt Scotches, though. I really do. It's a 12-year-old single malt, which has to be really smooth and really good and really interesting. But at $160, it's not going to be something. $170, it's not going to be something I'm going to buy anytime soon. Number 2, Rooks Ladish, 18-year-old Scotch from Scotland. 50% alcohol by volume, scored 94, price $180. Let's see, it's from the whiskey which first used Islay grown barley. Oh, I am getting my wine. It is coming into me. Well, let me tell you what number 1 is here, and then I'll tell you about what my wine is tonight. Oh, looks interesting. So that was number 2, and the number 1 whiskey by Whiskey Magazine is Laphroaig, Laphroaig, Laphroaig Elements 2.0 Cask Strength. That's a long name, Laphroaig. It is 59.6% alcohol, 95 score. Again, from Scotland, single malt, and it is priced at $165. And that is number 1 for 2024, according to Whiskey Advocate's Top 20. So, if you're into it and you have the money, then there's your whiskeys. I like single malts. I really am a big fan of single malt Scotch. I'd like to, if I'm not drinking wine, then it's usually going to be Scotch, single malt. So, but there are the top 10 whiskeys of the year by Whiskey Advocate. Wanted to pass those on to you. And I don't want this page. There you go. Okay. So, is this what I want here? Yes, no. No, this isn't. I need to get it again. Oh, I was going to tell you about the wine my engineer just brought in to me. This is Ghost Pines Cabernet Sauvignon. It is 40% Lake County, California Cabernet Sauvignon, 40% Sonoma County, and 17% Napa County. Well, that's an interesting blend. Ghost Pines. This is Winemaker's Blend. It is a 2017 vintage. I have no idea where this came from or how long we've had it. Else I'd give you a price or how we got it, but I don't know. I have stuff set away that I have a bad habit of not noting prices and stuff like that. And so, sorry. This is from Healdsburg, California. It is, where's the ABV? I'm not finding the ABV. Where is that? Oh, there it is. Buried in the label on the side. 14.5 alcohol by volume. All right, so it says Ghost Pines Cabernet Sauvignon. In 1964, Louis P. Martini, son of Napa pioneer Louis M. Martini, purchased 178 acres of land in the eastern hills of the Napa Valley. The Martini family developed this land into a vineyard, which they named Ghost Pines, as a tribute to the native gray pines, which at dusk appear to hover solitarily and ghost-like throughout the coastal valleys, which is really cool because, if you have fog in your area, you've probably seen the low-lying fog cover up the bottom of trees and stuff like that. And different areas in California are really very common. You see that stuff because of the heat of the land and then the fog coming off the ocean throughout the Coast Valley. Ghost Pines Cabernet Sauvignon draws from multiple wine-growing counties to create a wine as unique as the ghost pine itself. Layers of blackberry and dark cherry complement rich toasted vanilla, roasted, not toasted, roasted vanilla, which probably not a big difference in it, really. Asian spice and a nutty smoke character, all surrounded by firm, integrated tannins. Well, I like a good tannin wine. So, that's Ghost Pines Cabernet Sauvignon 2017. Let me try it here. Okay, like Mike says, the first thing you want to do is swirl it in the glass. And then you smell it. Ooh, that is nice. That's settled into the glass very well. I'm getting the blackberries. And some of the dark cherries. Wow, good description on that. All right, the legs. We look at the legs. The legs are pretty nice, pretty slow, spaced out all through the glass. And the wine's nice clear edge is not discolored. So for 2017, wow, 2017, actually you're looking at what, 7 years old on this wine. It's not bad at all. Okay, so let me do a sip. Oh, some nice tannins. The little bite of acid, but not overpowering, and the tannins seem to cover it up. The flavors are covering up quite well. Let me do my second sip since my mouth is now coated with it. Oh, even better. Some nice tannins. Actually, this is probably aged for another 3 or 4 years. There's got enough tannins in there to carry it even longer. It's got some good Cabernet characteristics to it. The acid comes out just about right, I think, though. I don't want any more acid because then it will start biting too much. The tannins are well balanced with the acid right now, so it's good. I think if you do age it a little bit more, though, I'm afraid that the tannins are going to disappear and the acid is going to step up a little bit, and it might not be that great balance that I'm tasting now. So, very good, though. Ghost Pines Cabernet Sauvignon. I can't tell you when or where we got it. It is by Louis M. Martini Winery here in the fine print. Let me look at that a little bit closer, because this is vented and bottled by Louis M. Martini Winery in Hillsborough, California. So I'm sure I can't say I'm sure. I would guess that they would still be making this. I don't know. I guess the way to find out would be to go into the Louis M. Martini website and find out. So I'll leave that up to you to see if they are still making it. If they are, it is worth going out. We don't spend a whole lot of money on anything less than usually $30 is our limit on a bottle of wine. So that's why I say I'm not going to buy those $160 bottles of wine that they talk about. They're good, don't get me wrong, but it's just that it's not within our budget to pick those up on a regular basis. We do every once in a while get a little bit more expensive wine, but most of the time we stay in under the $30 range, and this is one in the $30 range, and this is very good. So if you get an opportunity, I do highly recommend this. This is a nice wine. Ghost Pines Cabernet Sauvignon. Oh, very good. Okay, let's see. Let's go back to this. Grand Tour, I've already told you about that, so we don't need to talk. That's from Wine Spectator. After cocktail party, we don't need to talk about that. Number one whiskey of the year, we just told you about that. And Wine Enthusiasts is asking you to engage with eco-conscious values. It's ad space. Okay. Talking about climate issues and all that, but it's ad space, and you can buy ad space in the magazine. So I'm sure you are not, as consumers, interested in that. You might be interested in reading it, but not advertising it. And let's see. Wine excess, I don't think so. So those take care of that. Not there. And this is my list of peoples I need to contact and get on the show in the future. You can still, if you have any suggestions, anything you'd like to hear, any topics you like covered on the show, anyone you like us to try to get on the show, email us, allaboutwine101@gmail.com, and I will do my best. Most of the time I can email people, and they're really pretty good about responding and incorporating and doing that. So if you have any suggestions or anything, then let me know. Or if you have someone that you are familiar with, or someone that you would like to see on the show, and you know who they are, then mention us to them, and then let me know the link, or let me know the phone number, and I will email them, or I will call them and talk to them myself, and just explain what we do on the show. We are going to be on Blog Talk Radio for another 7 weeks, I guess. It's been almost 8 weeks. So we're going to be on Blog Talk Radio for another couple of months. But after that, then Restream will be our carrier, and it will reach everywhere too. You'll still be able to listen to us. Let's see. Let me look at something else here, because we got a few minutes, and I know there's a couple of things I wanted to mention to you, and now's a good chance to do it before we start filling up with listeners or with interviews. And once we do that, then I will keep you up to date on this. Wine smuggling ringleader is extradited to China after 3 years on the run. He was behind the smuggling operation valued at $343 million U.S., involving fine wines, Penfold, Lafite, stuff like that. And he's finally caught and extradited back to China. We may not hear from him ever again. No, China is. Let's see what. Survey shows pessimism among Italian wineries. Good for them. The growing thirst for English wines. We were going to talk to some people that did some that grew some English grapes, vineyards, and they made wine there. And something happened. We didn't connect with them. We lost them, I think. The connection disappeared, and we just never got them back. But English wines are really starting to do quite well around the world. They are making enough now that they're exporting them, and it's becoming the talk among a lot of places that what England is doing with their wines. Southern part of England is the center of the growing areas there in England, but they are doing quite a bit of decent wines there. So if you get a chance, if you see one, give it a try. All the medalists from the Global Melback Masters. Okay, Melback had them their thing. That's the growing thirst for English wines. Let me see if this article says anything about the English wines, if it tells any specifics. Sparkling wines, we're talking a lot about them here too. English sparkling wines. And in fact, I think who we were going to talk to did sparkling wines. I wish I could remember who they were. I'd like to get a hold of them again, or the person who contacted us originally. In 2024, there were 4,209 hectares under vine, over 1,030 vineyards in Britain. And that's an increase in nearly 75% over just 5 years. And they're currently projected to reach 7,600 hectares by 2032. I don't know, there's something you can do, Mike, if you got a moment. Check what the conversion from hectares, hectares, to acres is. I have no idea.
How many hectares?
4,209 right now.
That's wow. 10,400 acres.
Wow, or 76,000 hectares by 2032.
Wow. 187,800 acres.
Wow,
Yeah.
That's that's a substantial amount of plantings.
It looks like it's 1 hectare to it's 2.47 acres to 1 hectare. So I guess that would be your multiplier. Multiplier.
Okay, 2.74.
2.47, yeah.
2.47.
Yeah. That's close.
2.47.
Yeah.
Acres equals 1 hectare.
Yeah.
Acres equals 1 hectare. Okay. I hate this pen. I should just throw it in the garbage. Every time I use it, it skips, and all right, there you go. I hate that, but I don't. I just throw it right down on the table here again. And, key regions include Kent, East Sussex, West Sussex, and Surrey. With their proximity to London and its 9.7 million residents and thousands of visitors, it has become quite a tourist trap, they call it here in this article. A lot of vineyards and a lot of they said the UK has been planting 234 million vines a year over the last decade and show no signs of slowing down. Wow. Well, good for them. Yeah, I'm going to have to dig in the old emails and see if I can't find the people who are doing wines in or sparkling wines, actually, what they were doing. We were going to talk to them about the sparkling wine market in UK. So I'll get a hold of them and find out. Let's see. It says today there are around 67 different English sparkling wines for sale throughout Norway's region, particularly wines made from Chardonnay and Pinot Noir, which is your basic champagne wines, are grapes there. So cool. This is optimism ahead. This is a melting point of understanding. People from New Zealand, Australia, and South Africa are bringing their expertise to bear within the space of English wines, and it is so welcome. So there we go. We're done for the night. We told you what was happening. We spent a half hour of the show telling you what was going on and what was happening. A sad note that Flightline Radio is leaving, but we are switching carriers on All About Wine, but we will still be with Blog Talk Radio for a while, for another couple months, almost. And Restream.io, if you want to check out that site, Restream.io, Restream.io, and
see if it becomes
and see what they're all about.
Permanent home, or we're just testing it right now and see what happens. But
that's it. We
go from there. We'll try it out.
We've got other possibilities, but if they serve our purpose as well as Blog Talk Radio did for 14 or 15 years, then we'll stay with them.
Yeah.
So.
Sounds good. It is 8:02 p.m. Eastern Time, and time to close out the show for this Thursday on December the 5th. Wow, it's so soon. Kind of flew.
Wow, yeah, and, it's almost over. Month
blink,
of the year. Yeah.
Blink, and it'll be 2025. So
yes, it will.
We will talk to you all next week on December 12th. Thanks for tuning in, and have a great week ahead. And be safe, and drink wine, and enjoy it. Thank you very much again.
There you go. Be safe out there now.
I'm going to see if you can hear the audio this time. I changed something. We'll try this.
Oh, let's see.
This concludes tonight's broadcast of All About Wine with your host, Ron. For show information, links to All About Wine on Twitter and Facebook, or to be a guest on this show, visit the show website at www.allaboutwinebtr.com. Archived shows are available for download on iTunes or on our show page at blogtalkradio.com/allaboutwine. Thank you for listening. Drink responsibly, and we'll see you next time on All About Wine.
That was it.